Welcome to episode 4 of the CAP, the Culture and Arts Podcast. I am Joe Ruiz, whatever we discussed last time was going to be the last name.
Right.
To my right, we have Mr. David Merle. David, say hello.
Hey, hello, good morning.
Jason Merle is on my left. The brothers Merle are both here again for episode 4. Very, very excited.
Merle Squared.
Merle Squared. Jason, what's up, man?
I love that you can't even give us a definitive answer on how to pronounce your last name.
I know. It's a tragedy. I was telling this guy the other day, and now my last name is actually being difficult to pronounce too, because at work the other day, there was a man at a Greek restaurant who one of my coworkers was representing for their advertising, and when I left the restaurant, he asked, "Hey, what was the name of that Chinese guy that you work with again?" And so, because it was funny that everybody thought I was Chinese at this restaurant, for some reason, one of the guys in our creative department began to call me Cho instead of Joe.
Love it.
So now the last name is not only being confused, but now my first name is apparently Cho. I might as well just embrace my Asian culture. And then...
You're a one-man United Nations.
I know.
I think that's what's taking place here.
I know it.
Right.
And I don't even need... So I got this sales award, and my general manager, of all people, who barely ever says a word to me, sees that I made a certain sale, and he walks downstairs... And he comes up to my desk and he goes, "Hey, Cho, congratulations." And I was like, now my general manager's calling me Cho. What is going on? But
your name, by the time you retire, is going to be really absurd. It's going to, it's going to be Ukrainian or something. You'll have. I don't even know what a Ukrainian name would sound like, but I'm sure it has lots of cough, rolling K's or something in there. So you. Yeah, I watch out for what your name will be back in about 70 years.
I might just go to the courthouse and change it to like Bob Miller or
right,
something like
Joe
that.
Smith,
Yeah,
Bob Miller,
Walter
yeah,
Smith.
definitely.
But getting into this week, we were prevented from actually producing the show last week because of round 2 of the polar vortex. And the police were out giving people tickets on the night we were supposed to record for $2,500 if you were out driving during the travel warning.
Yes. Are you done with winter yet?
I've been done with winter.
I am so done with winter. And these people that say they want just a little bit of snow on Christmas, I'm done with them too.
Yeah.
Any side of snow, wind, cold, ice, rain, or shorter days, I'm done with.
I mean, this snow shut down Atlanta, apparently.
Atlanta.
Yeah, of all places. And, I mean, it was snowing in Florida. My father said it was snowing in Texas. These are places where there's not supposed to be snow.
Not only that, I'm assuming that all those guys have four-wheel trucks the size of Texas, and I can't imagine that they can shut down Texas with all the trucks rolling around there.
I don't know, because it shut down Atlanta, because as much as you'd think it wouldn't really be an issue, 2 inches shut the place down because they don't have plows.
Exactly.
The crazy thing is, when you see all the pictures of the horrible accidents in Atlanta, you can still see the road. We can't see the roads here. It's all covered in snow.
Can't see the road. I can't see my house. What are you talking about?
I cannot make it to my trash can. I've got a bunch of trash sitting outside my back door because there's no path, and it's like I can't open the back door big enough to get my whole body out of it to trudge through the snow and get to my trash cans.
It's a mess. When I came out today to come to Ruiz Studios, or Cho Studios as we'll now call them, when I came out, I got one drive, and so I had pulled my car in first. My wife's van was behind me. Well, I had to drive my car here. So if you can imagine, one set of keys, 2 cars, 1 driveway. The math's not looking pretty. I got to scrape off 2 vehicles just to move 2 vehicles, and none of the cars can stay running the whole time while I do this process. So it's scrape off van, pull van to street, go get my other car, scrape off car, pull car to street, pull keys out, get the van, pull that in, and then go and start my car, which always has trouble starting. So, I just had a car mess all created. It was last minute. I thought I was going to be on time. Had about 45 inches of snow on my way here on my cars today. So
now you and I have to deal with that kind of thing. I'm thinking Jason feels pretty fortunate because he lives in an apartment, so they probably take care of it, right?
I feel really bad for the maintenance people that have to deal with all that. It doesn't look fun.
Right.
Yeah.
You walk out in your balcony and wave at them and say hi, or do you tip them? How do you treat those
I might
guys?
glance out through the window, but I'm not opening the door if I don't have to.
Do they curse at you guys out there not having to shovel, or
No, they're actually really cool.
I wouldn't be cool.
I wouldn't be cool either. You cheap bastards got me out here shoveling snow.
I want to be paid to shovel my own drive. I mean, I would have been a wealthy man over the last few months.
Yeah.
I've had to shovel it multiple times in some weeks. Wintertime is not fun.
It's not fun at all. It's a lot of work in Northwest Indiana, that's for sure. Jason, you brought us an interesting article this week. I'm going to let you go ahead and set it up because I think it's entertaining, but you're probably most familiar with it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of articles about the secret menu at McDonald's, and I know David used to work at McDonald's back in the day. I didn't know if he knew anything about this.
No secret menu items there.
Okay, now the
Was
article...
this at the Hartford City McDonald's?
This was at Hartford City McDonald's. A little bit of Hartford City shout out on our podcast today.
Now, the article did mention that a lot of these you can't order by name, but if you describe it, they'll make it for you. And so I want to tell if any of our listeners are able to get any of these, take a picture of it, send it to us on Twitter at Cap Podcast, and we'll share that with our following. But a couple that I wanted to mention. One was the McKinley Mac, and this actually I think sounds kind of good. This is essentially a Big Mac with quarter-pound patties instead of the regular patties.
Okay. I have had the McKinley Mac.
Okay. Really?
I had the McKinley Mac. I was in Alaska, went to a McDonald's. I have this thing, and now I would like to know the secret passwords to get some of these secret menu items. Is it kind of like the Illuminati thing or something like?
Do I have a certain handshake?
Do I have secret handshakes? Because I like to, when I'm out of town, go. This is going to sound weird. I'm kind of a fast food connoisseur, but when I'm out of town, I actually like to go into McDonald's and see if they have, menu items. I guess not secret menu items, but I like to see if they're serving something that I can't get here in South Bend, Indiana. And when I was in Alaska, they had the McKinley Mac. I ate it. It almost ruined my vacation. It
made you sick?
It's a monster of a burger.
Were there elk patties since you were in Alaska?
No, but they did have reindeer hot dogs. Like at every, like they had little stands like you would see in New York at hot dog stands or whatever. I kid you not, they had reindeer hot dog stands all over the place.
Really?
I sent it on my Christmas card. I thought that was appropriate. A little bit of a little bit of Merry Christmas. I ate Rudolph. That's not funny.
Yeah. You approach the guy at the cart and you're like, all right, I want some ketchup, I want some mustard, and I want some slaw. Well, where do you want it? On Dasher, on Dancer, on Prancer, on Vixen.
Right. Oh yeah, and I ordered 8 or 9, depending if you believe Rudolph's a real reindeer or not. And so and I just had a little bit of ketchup on the end of the first one there. So because I'm a guy that believes that Rudolph is is a real reindeer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you believe in the actual reindeer?
Well, part of the legacy or whatever. When you think in terms of the Santa Claus legacy, I have to include Rudolph, don't you?
Well, you might be prejudicial if you don't,
Well, honestly, it was just
another bully who wouldn't let him participate in any reindeer games.
Right, yeah, you got to love Rudolph.
Well, I guess it's only appropriate that we make Christmas jokes since it's the white menace outside that it is.
Definitely. I'm driving through my neighborhood. I think, by the way, and I'll let Jason get to his sandwiches here in a second, but I think that this has people so discouraged, this white menace that's falling from the sky, I think it's depressing them and unmotivating them because I've seen still multiple Christmas trees still up as I drive through my neighborhood. I think people are just...
Really?
I'm not kidding.
They're just giving up.
I think they're giving up. Go ahead with your sandwiches, Jason.
Another one I wanted to mention was the Land, Sea, and Air Burger. And this is essentially a beef patty, a chicken patty, and a fish patty all on one sandwich. It's kind of the turducken of the McDonald's menu.
Holy cow.
Would you try that?
I don't think so. There's a little too much going on there with that one.
Is this real? Can you order this? Is this?
This I actually found on several different sites,
Wow.
so this may be a legitimate item.
And this is a secret menu item because if you actually had it on the menu, PETA would probably throw a fit.
Oh, I
yeah.
imagine.
He just coming and throwing paint on you.
Yeah.
And Ronald McDonald.
Another one that they mentioned is called the Monster Mac. This is a big.
Is there a
Mac.
song? The Monster Mac. No, I'm sorry.
We do the Monster Mac.
The Monster Mac.
Now, this is a Big Mac with not the normal 2 patties. They didn't double it to 4. They went all the way up to 8 patties on this.
Good God.
Now,
That's not real. Can't be real.
It's hard enough to get your order right at McDonald's when you're ordering something on the menu that they make every day. If I went in there and said, yeah, I'd like a Big Mac with 8 patties on it, and be like, You want 8 Big Macs? No. I want a Big Mac with 8 patties. You want a Big Mac with 8 pickles? No. I want a Big Mac with 8 hamburger patties. You want a Big Mac and 8 hamburgers? I just think it'd go on forever.
That is ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
Like, you will die if you eat that burger. Your cholesterol levels will automatically spike, and you will just keel over.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who would have thought of that.
Do you even expect McDonald's to get your order right anymore?
No.
And in a timely fashion?
Yeah, you could order something off of the value menu, which is a set menu item, and they will still find a way to get it wrong.
Oh, you're not kidding. I drove through the drive-thru one day, and they had 2 for $2 filet of fish. And I say, and I didn't realize this, so I pull up to the window, and I'm like, hey, I want 1 filet of fish. They said, hey, they're 2 for $2. Would you like another? I'm like, sure. So I pull up to the window, pay for it, go out, look in it, and there's only 1 filet of fish. The lady goes, and so I go, hey, you only gave me 1 filet of fish. The lady that just handed me my filet of fish then says, do you have a receipt? I'm like, well, that would come from you, so I don't have that either. So she goes, all right, hold on. She comes back out, hands me another bag. This time it's a filet of fish and a fry. So I go in, and I'm like, hey, I wanted 2 filet of fish, which I initially didn't want, and here I am fighting, this whole situation. And so I go in, and the first words out of their mouth are, do you have a receipt? I'm like, no, she didn't give me that either. And so then she hands me, I'm still holding my bag, she hands me another bag, and so she hands me now 2 filet of fish. So after pulling up and just winning 1, I walk out with 3 filet of fish and 1 set of fries. I don't know how that happened.
And these are the people that get $10 an hour starting soon,
right?
Yes.
That's it. Sorry, go ahead. More McDonald's sandwiches.
One last thing I wanted to mention. This one is called a Big McChicken, which I originally was anticipating would be chicken instead of beef on a Big Mac. But what it actually is, they replaced the bun on the Big Mac with 3 chicken patties. So it's essentially the illegitimate child of a Big Mac and a KFC Double Down.
There we go.
Cow.
Chicken, beef, chicken, beef, chicken.
I love the KFC Double Down, by the way.
That's not bad.
That's good stuff.
Now, that's kind of funny. It makes me question, who comes up with these concepts? Is it just people who are wanting to try certain things, and they're like, oh, I have an idea for something I'll try at McDonald's, and then they write it down, and they go to the drive-thru and try and stump the McDonald's employee? Or is it just, something that has secretly been set in stone on the McDonald's menu?
It makes me wonder. If you read the full article, I think some of them just come from maybe trying to take care of a customer, because one of them said they'll mix a pie in with a McFlurry if you order both. Which,
really?
Yeah, it seems like a lot, but I guess they refer to it as pie a la mode, so maybe it's just not that strange.
Yeah,
but.
yeah.
Have you guys ever worked in fast food restaurant?
No, I haven't.
The people there at McDonald's, and I have worked at McDonald's, they do make a lot of things on the side that you can't get on the menu. Now, we didn't necessarily sell them or call them secret menu items, but a lot of people at McDonald's they'll mix the Big Mac sauce and maybe mayonnaise or something, and then they'll dip their fries in it. There's a lot of things that inside, I think McDonald's is, they're running a cult there. And
It's very experimental, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think McDonald's is a cult. I think I'm probably going to be sued, for saying that. But.
Jason, maybe me and you, man, could just make up our own sandwiches. We can make up our own secret menu items.
I think we should.
Okay. Why don't you take a stab at it?
The McAvatar. It looks delicious, but you just want your money back before it's over.
Right.
Yeah, I would like to see the McGangster rap, and fans of PETA would be really ticked off about that, too. It's the only item on the menu that you couldn't make vegetarian because it's always got beef for someone.
There you go. Now, you guys might give this a different description than I would, but this is the Big Mac Bang Theory. This is a sandwich that everyone is constantly telling me is the best thing on the menu, but when I finally try it, it's just very plain.
This is the Big Bang Theory, and I love that show. You talk. I've never heard anyone talk badly about that show until I met you. And because of that, I think I would take you to McDonald's and order you the Miley Cyrus. Listen, the Miley Cyrus is not as disliked by PETA because there's not a lot of meat on it, but people are complaining that the buns are always moving.
There you go.
Right.
That's a bad thing.
The McChris Christie. This is a sandwich, if you don't fully support it with fries and a drink, will block the flow in your arteries.
Oh, no.
Fun fact, most people don't know this, but Burger King also had a secret menu item. Do you remember their slogan, have it your way?
Yes.
Okay. Well, around 2008, when Barack Obama became president, they began to market a menu item called the Barack Obama in tribute to the first African-American president. And the slogan for this sandwich was, if you like it your way, you can keep it. Right? Now, people thought that was an odd enough slogan at the time because the Obamacare stuff hadn't really come to fruition yet, but it quickly grew very unpopular. People began to hate the sandwich because just about the time that the drive-thru attendant placed it in your hands, Barack Obama reached out the window and took it back.
Right.
Another thing that we were going to discuss this week is this Google Glass. You guys are familiar with Google Glass?
Yes, I am.
All right, David, I just had to kind of give you a rundown on Google Glass, but for those of you listening that aren't familiar with Google Glass or what it is, it's basically a headset or a pair of eyeglasses that Google has developed, is going to be released pretty shortly, so for commercial use. I tried on the prototype at one time at work, and it wasn't as detailed as supposedly what the commercial product was going to be. But the idea is, while you're wearing these glasses, the glasses act as your smartphone, so you don't always have to be staring down at your phone. You can basically just flip a little switch on the side of your eyeglasses, or you can tell your eyeglasses through voice recognition what you want them to do. So if you need to travel, there can be a GPS map that is showing right in front of your face, and you can drive accordingly or walk accordingly. It can turn on songs for you. It can do pretty much anything. There's going to be apps just like there is with a smartphone, but it's going to be in your eyeglasses instead. So that's a pretty interesting concept.
I would never use it.
Why not?
I would never use it. First of all, now, this isn't a joke. I'm just not a lover of technology. And, I mean, I love using technology, but I'm creeped out about, like, all the electric waves and stuff that are going through the air, and I don't want to catch, like, diseases or get cancer or something. And so to have all those chips and waves shooting directly into my eye, I'm not kidding. I'm not doing it. I'm not having lasers or whatever shoot into my eye.
They say that like fast food and different things gives you, cancer. Like everything gives you cancer nowadays.
Right.
So the electrical wave shouldn't really be a fear of yours if you're trying the McKinley Mac.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I eat a lot of fast food.
I know you're a Diet Pepsi drinker.
True.
And that has stuff in the...
But the electric waves just is enough. That creeps me out. But apparently a McKinley Mac is.
I am creeped out by the on-the-grid factor, of technology. And that kind of makes me a little paranoid. It doesn't stop me from using it because I feel like between working in radio and then also doing the Cat podcast, the We Are Libertarians stuff that I do, I feel like everything that I do in my life kind of revolves around social media at this point,
right.
Or at least some form of internet, something or another. And so I can't really get away from it. But it does. In the back of my mind, I'm always thinking about who's looking.
Do you think McDonald's response to being off the grid is to have these secret menu items? Is that what this is what happening?
They know that the FDA would not approve of these menu items.
That's it.
And so, yes, they're secret.
Was Snowden responsible for getting these secret menu items released to the public? Is that how that happened?
Maybe. It was from one of the documents.
I think we need to get to the bottom of this secret menu item thing.
Well, this Google Glass has now developed an app. And this is one of the weirdest things I've ever heard in my life. But this is a app that is specifically supposed to be used while you are becoming intimate with your partner.
Okay.
And the point of this is that while you are being intimate, you are seeing yourself from your partner's perspective.
Now that's crazy. Have you ever even looked at yourself brushing your teeth in the morning?
I try and avoid the mirror as much as possible.
So if we got people, or have you walked sideways in front of a department store window or something? At least for me, I'm looking like that's not the view of me I want to see.
No.
And, like I said, you're brushing your teeth in the morning. That's as intimate as I want to get with myself. So the Google Glass sex app, again, I'm not wearing the glasses to begin with. I'm definitely not watching myself be intimate. It's just...
But I wonder, how this could evolve. A person and their spouse own a pair of Google Glasses.
Right.
And they both have this app downloaded for whatever reason. Then you can essentially see everything from your partner's perspective, whether it's with a Wi-Fi signal or your 4G or whatever else comes after that. So we could be in completely different places, right? And I could just imagine like a Cheaters-type reality TV show, where it's like, I'm going to check in with my partner. Instead of using the phone, you just glance over to their perspective, and they're with some other dude.
Right. What about like things like hacking into this? I mean, could it be possible that someone could hack into when you're using that app and watch?
Yeah, or when you're punching in your ATM code, and someone hacks into your perspective, and it's like, now I know their ATM code, and I can steal their card and use it.
Or when Jason's secretly watching The Big Bang Theory, people will know.
Yes.
People will know. I think
there's a couple things about this idea that just seem really crazy to me. One, the name of the app is called Sex with Glass. Was gunshot to the head not available? I mean, could they come up with something a little more unpleasant?
Yes, sexing on broken glass.
Yes, that's,
Sexing on broken glass.
Oh, no. I think the secret menu items are going to be compromised, with this app. I just like to say that.
But then, it's been my experience as someone who's worn glasses pretty much my whole life. They get in the way a lot of times, especially when you're trying to be intimate. So I don't know that this is suddenly going to catch on that everybody needs the Google Glass when they're, getting it on.
Yeah.
And then also the thought of seeing things from your partner's perspective. Well, if I got turned on by looking at myself, I just walk around with a mirror all the time like Vanity Smurf. I wouldn't need her.
Vanity Smurf.
Vanity Smurf.
Wow.
I wonder if you can control it's like a universal remote, all right, on your Google Glass. So you're in a room or a car or something, and you start to kiss your counterpart, and things are steaming up just a little bit, and so you're like, all right, I'm going to set the mood. So you touch a little Google Glass, and all of a sudden the lights dim. Maybe some candles start to appear. You've got some flames. I think I want a little
Marvin
music.
Gaye.
Yeah, you hit the little switch on the Google Glass, and I've been really trying, baby.
Does Vanity Smurf use Google Glass? Does Vanity Smurf eat secret menu items? I don't know. I love the Vanity Smurf.
Maybe there's a secret menu item with the Smurfs, where it's like the blue burger, because they have those at some restaurants. The little blue cheese on the burger.
Right, that's good stuff.
Yeah. The Papa Smurf blue burger, mixture of blue cheese and Viagra.
Oh no!
Little blue cheese and a little blue pill.
Yeah. Probably not the most popular menu item. I heard it's rather hard.
Oh my goodness!
If you eat it when it's 4 hours old, though, things should start to tenderize a little bit. David says absolutely not.
I got no comment.
We should move away from the McDonald's menu items immediately, and maybe the Google Glass too. But guys, there has been something that has been taking the press by storm, and it has not been anything political, despite the Obama State of the Union address this last week, and anything else that's happened worldwide politically. The one thing that has been taking over CNN and Fox News and pretty much every other media outlet is Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber.
Now, thoughts on Justin Bieber. Erase everything that we know about Justin Bieber, okay? And imagine the little kid that came out on the scene when he came out, and Usher discovered him on YouTube and this and that and the other. What are your initial thoughts about Justin Bieber?
My initial thoughts about Justin Bieber, sorry, not Justice Beaver.
The Beebs. Yeah, I hope he never becomes like a Supreme Court justice.
Right. I wonder who would nominate, probably Vanity Smurf would nominate Justin Bieber for the Supreme Court justice.
This is a weird world you live in, David.
Right. Okay, what was your initial thoughts on Justin Bieber?
When he was a kid.
I kind of had some, I didn't like Justin Bieber at first. I thought, man, here we have just like another marketed, famous, I know he wasn't Disney, but that genre of people who don't need to be famous are famous. That's kind of where
the manufactured pop stars, the kind of cookie cutter.
And I will say that I was actually, I must be honest, I was actually watching a video of his today. There's a song of his that I like, Never Say Never. And
you heard it here first,
right? Am I confessing too much on the air here? But I'm
anything
watching
you
that,
say can and will be used against you.
And I'm like, this is, and even though I was like never a big fan of Justin Bieber, I'm watching that. And I'm like, this is the kid that I would like. So, I hated him at the wrong time. I should have been liking him then, because now he's a train wreck.
He is a train wreck.
And so. True. But he was a little more clean cut. I liked him then. I suppose. Well, I want to like him now. I want to go back in time and like him when he was clean cut.
Justin Bieber is to 2014 what Amanda Bynes was to 2013. It seems like every year there's a celebrity that they kind of, I guess, is drowning, and the media singles them out.
I think he's kind of heading down a Lindsay Lohan path where if he doesn't kind of change his ways, no one's even going to think about taking him seriously.
See, and here's the thing. This is kind of a bizarre question, and I'm not like a conspiracy theory dude or whatever, but do you think that some of these celebrity crises are manufactured? It just keeps them in the paper, like bad press is good press, or all press is good press, as they say. Like, is it like, hey, they just become self-indulgent and do this crazy stuff because they want to be in the papers, they want it manufactured, they want it out there, they want to be in the headlines? Or do you think that, some of these I think Lindsay Lohan's a real addict, forgive me, but, with Justin Bieber and I think some others, like Britney even, sometimes I wondered, like, is this a real crisis, or is this to just be in the papers, or what's your thoughts on that?
Well, she's actually kind of bounced back.
Sure, yeah.
You know? Yeah. I think that there's some substance to that theory, but I wonder, with someone like Justin Bieber, why would you go there? Because he could have continued his career.
He was top of the world. He had a lot of people were buying his records, people watching his videos. I don't know if he had all those movies, that are like behind the scenes, what I call the Madonna Truth or Dare.
Those are just stupid movies. They
but they made a boatload of money.
Sure.
He had a fan base that was probably was it shrinking at all, or is it shrinking now? Is this expanding people's interest in Justin Bieber, or are people kind of done with him?
I don't know.
To answer that question, I did see there's the website that sends the petitions to the White House, and if they get like 100,000 signatures within 30 days, then the president has to respond to it. Just recently, they started the petition to deport Justin Bieber back to Canada with all his legal problems, and it got the 100,000 signatures in less than a week. So at some point...
Now, is that real, like, door-to-door signatures, or is that, like, online
This
petition?
is online.
Right.
It's all online.
Yeah.
Apparently within the next 30 days, we'll get some sort of a response on whether they'll deport him back to Canada.
Can we deport Vanity Smurf?
My understanding... My understanding, though, is that even with his legal problems, they wouldn't deport just like a regular person. So I don't see that happening.
See, I didn't know you could do this, because I'm excited about that we can have like 100,000 signatures away from deporting Carson Daly or whoever, or we can pick people.
There was actually, a year or two ago, the big petition to build a Death Star, and the White House actually submitted
The White House had to see it?
They had to see it and answer, no, we will not do this, and these are our reasons why.
This is not good information for me, because I will probably have a new project and get 100 signatures every week on...
100,000.
100,000 signatures. My math is shady. And this is going to create a whole new thing. I'm mad at something Rush Limbaugh says on the radio. I'm going to go grab my 100,000 signatures. What do you think?
I think that we could probably use it to deport the president.
Oh, right. No, that scares me.
Too.
If we get rid of the president, we got to get rid of Joe Biden too, because
it's true.
I think
how far down the line will we have to go before we find someone decent?
I'm concerned we might have to eliminate millions.
You don't
of
want
people.
John Boehner to be president.
I think it's better than the top two on the end, but
well,
could he have looked any more stiff in the State of the Union?
John Boehner?
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to move in leather skin. How many times a week does that guy have to go to a tanning bed?
Right.
Honestly.
And did you see Joe Biden, like, shooting the smile and the point, like he's the Fonz up there?
Hey.
Did you see that? Like, Obama's speaking, and Biden's up there, pointing and laughing. It was crazy. I want to be vice president. I'm going to hold up cards and stuff when I'm behind the president. Will you run for office, Joe?
Well, I don't know. If it comes down to, like, me running or Justin Bieber running, then I'll be the guy.
Will you appoint Vanity Smurf as the Supreme Court justice?
I will not.
Okay.
I will. She will be dead from eating the Viagra Blue Burger. But let's run down what I've created here. It's called the Justin Bieber Timeline of Douchiness. And it basically goes through everything that has occurred recently with Justin Bieber, because when we were going to talk about this last week before we got snowed in,
we were just inches into this winter wonderland of douchebaggery of Justin Bieber-ness.
Yeah, and it's like, and now every day there's something. It's like the NSA from 2013. Every day you're learning something new about how douchey this kid is. And all right, so we start with the vandalism in Brazil. Okay, he was doing graffiti in Brazil. He also got in trouble for it in Australia and Colombia.
Should I be taking notes? I feel like I should be taking notes.
There might be a quiz.
Okay,
a quiz
go ahead.
on it. Yeah.
Sure.
So vandalism in Brazil, Australia, and Colombia, and then he has an encounter with a prostitute. Apparently, remember this?
Yeah,
he's down in Brazil.
I missed that one. Apparently,
No, she did the selfie of him sleeping.
She did a selfie with him sleeping behind her.
That was an indicator. Justin Bieber is a special kind of reckless.
Oh yeah,
he's a special kind of reckless.
Yeah. And so then the question was posed: did he sleep with this girl or not? And wasn't he still with Selena Gomez at the time?
I'm sure.
I don't know. But so
speaking,
he had that.
if I can get one note on Selena Gomez, have you seen the confidence she's been walking around with in the last week?
No kidding.
No. Tell me about it.
No, there's just this certain vibe like, that train wreck's behind me.
She's got her victory march on.
Well, good for her. Good for her.
Yeah.
I always thought she was too good for him anyway.
In your timeline, do you mention the back and forth text?
Oh, yeah,
okay,
we'll get there, definitely.
We won't fast forward.
His tour buses were raided twice in 2013 in Detroit and Sweden, where they uncovered unspecified narcotics, a stun gun, and marijuana. And his friend, I think it's Lil Za or maybe Lil Zay. You know, there's too many Lils in rap music or whatever. So I don't even know if he's a rapper or if he just thinks he's being cool. But he was arrested for possessing drugs in Justin Bieber's house, Justin Bieber not being present, believed to be cocaine. So there's obviously a drug history there.
The combination of drugs and a stun gun seems like an interesting combination.
Seems like a bad idea.
It's like, let's do one or the other. I'm not really advocating drugs, but I'm not advocating stun guns either. Definitely not the combination. It seems like an unhealthy combination.
Well, if Justin Bieber is the person on the negative end of the stun gun, then I'm okay with that combination.
I stand corrected. Corrected.
And then he recently was he's in trouble now for vandalism again in his own neighborhood, where he apparently egged a house, and and his neighbors suing him for the property damage, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's over like $200,000 worth of property damage.
Of eggs?
In this, no, the eggs ruined the paint on this expensive wall or piece of property. So that's kind of a big deal. And then,
were those eggs ever put in a secret menu item?
It's very possible that they would not be put in a menu item because they are now on a wall. Unless somebody orders a McMansion wall.
That would be the Bieber. The Bieber would have
breakfast sandwich.
Yeah.
He'd have eggs thrown at you.
So
you get the sausage on the biscuit, but they throw the eggs at you.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you're tased.
Little cocaine lace on the English muffin.
I don't think I'm eating at McDonald's this week.
I know, me neither. But then you have the Selena Gomez text that we talked about.
Yeah.
So basically, someone from Selena Gomez's camp or entourage or someone releases this set of text messages that were going back and forth between her and Justin Bieber, where Justin Bieber apparently sent some nude selfies of her. And it was all in an attempt to give her the, you missed this girl kind of treatment. Right. Where at first he is being a nice guy and he says, we can make it right, we can make it work, we can get back together. And she says, no, we tried, we gave it a second go around.
You're an addict, even.
Yeah, you're an addict.
You need help.
You need help, absolutely.
And then his response was, you can climb over my piles of cash.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I began to understand the point of no return.
There's a disconnect between him and reality.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I would like to climb over his piles of cash. I would take a few dollars.
I would take a few dollars also. Yeah.
And I would go straight to get some secret menu. No, I wouldn't.
You just said you weren't going to eat at McDonald's.
That's true.
So then he says to Selena Gomez in these text messages also, as she's turning down his his pursuit of her romantically with these nude selfies, because everybody knows that the way you woo a woman is to send her nude selfies.
Apparently.
Yep. This is why Geraldo Rivera has so many girlfriends.
Now, I'm hoping Selena Gomez can stay on the straight path. She's so far so good, right? She's not going down the Britney, Bieber, Lohan Avenue, is she?
David hasn't seen Spring Breakers.
So, apparently not.
Oh, no, for really? What's that? Okay,
no, there was
ahead,
a movie where Selena Gomez and Vanessa Hudgens and I don't remember the third girl, they were trying to break out of their Disney shell a little bit, and so they went a little sexy.
So you've seen Spring Breakers?
I've not, but I heard about it. It was controversial when it came out.
I've heard about it. Like Jason's heard about Big Bang Theory.
Yeah. Jace, by the way, remind me to get you back your copy after the show.
Right. Right.
So Selena, I don't know. I think she was trying for a moment to be a little sexier, a little bit edgier, try and break away from the Wizards of Waverly Place, and I can't necessarily blame her for that. She's in her 20s now. But then this relationship with Bieber, I think, automatically put her back into the position of being the good guy because you can't out-douche Justin Bieber.
You can't. We should have a competition and try and out-douche Justin Bieber.
I don't think it's possible.
We ought to try.
Okay, go ahead.
I can't do it right now.
Try
it. I think for me this would take years of craftiness because I'm just... if I must say so, I think I'm just undouchebaggery.
You've succeeded. You've succeeded. David Morrill is the winner.
One thing I do want to point out, just for the sake of fairness, as far as these texts between Selena and Justin, I did see one report on the news this week where she denied that any of this was true.
Oh, really?
So
she
maybe
denied what was true.
That she ever sent these texts.
If I were her, I would deny that I dated Justin Bieber.
Which is weird because she doesn't look bad in these at all. But
no, she doesn't.
No, I agree. I think the selfies were actually taken on Google Glass, though. Justin Bieber would use Google Glass sex app. I have no doubt. So,
well, then he was down in Miami, and he was apparently arrested for speeding, driving a Lamborghini with an expired license, and then resisted arrest. A toxicology report stated that he had THC in his system, and he had Xanax in his system. And the cops at the time said that he was blowing above the legal limit on the breathalyzer.
The legal limit of alcohol, I'm sure,
right,
but there can't be a legal limit of the other narcotic soup that was in his body.
No.
He needed alcohol to...
Yeah. But now he's arguing that he didn't actually, that he blew a zero, that he didn't actually have any alcohol in his system, and this was just a case of police abuse of authority or brutality, or they were trying to get him arrested because they had a vendetta against him. And who doesn't at this point?
Right. He at least has in tune that there is people out there that don't like him.
I am no fan of police brutality.
No, definitely not.
If that is a legitimate claim, this is like the one exception.
Yeah, because I think if the police were really out to get him, they would do what we all want to do and club him.
Right.
I guess police brutality jokes are kind of on the edge, aren't they? We probably should back off that.
Well,
I'm a fan of police.
I know I saw on TMZ there was a dispute over... the legal limit was .08. The police wrote down he was a .04, which is actually below the limit. But since he's underage, it kind of doesn't matter.
How old is he now?
I think he's still 19.
Okay.
But it just kind of raises the question: well, if the police got that wrong on the report, what else did they screw up?
Right.
So there's that aspect of it. What worries me though is they say an addict has to hit rock bottom before they change. He's shown no remorse over any of this.
Oh no.
And so if he has to get in more trouble to change his ways, that scares me.
Oh yeah, he's got an ego the size of Kobe Bryant. I mean, that dude, they're not closing down schools for snow the size of his ego.
I think it's worse than Kobe Bryant.
You think?
Yeah, well, Kobe just takes his ego to not pass the ball and cheat on his wife.
Right.
Justin Bieber is like on every kind of drug apparently, and he's speeding Paul Walker style through Miami Beach.
Oh no! The thing. To mention Kobe Bryant, though, by the way, he actually was playing for the L.A. Lakers and wanted them to move to another city, though. He's got a big ego.
The Lakers play where Kobe Bryant plays.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then on top of the whole speeding incident where he resisted arrest, he was apparently bailed out. And then on January 29th, he was arrested again in Toronto, where the police are charging him with assaulting a limo driver in December of 2013.
One thing we haven't mentioned in your timeline was he had the issue with the monkey in Germany. That was
Monkey?
No, I don't know about this. Tell me about the monkey.
He had a pet monkey that he took to Germany, and they kept it. The German authorities kept it. And, that's illegal. So
Monkey.
He had a pet monkey, and he took it on the road with him, and he was doing a show in Germany.
See, I think that's the sign that you have crossed the line of sanity, is when you have monkeys as a pet. Exhibit A, Michael Jackson. I'm a big fan, but the dude was crazy, and he had a monkey.
Well, I wonder whether or not this monkey that Justin Bieber took to Germany was Davy Jones.
No, I think he took the whole band.
But to go back to the Michael Jackson thing, you know that Justin Bieber was a big Michael Jackson fan, and he
I don't blame him
took a photograph. There was a photograph on... I can't remember where it was posted, but there was a photograph of Michael Jackson, and he's like sitting on top of a black car, and he's like waving at the audience.
Okay.
And Justin Bieber actually reenacted that photo of himself sitting on top of a black car and waving to the audience, being the same as Michael Jackson.
I think we see where this is going.
As he was leaving prison.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And so he's trying to make the argument that the media is demonizing him the same way that they demonized Michael Jackson.
He wants to be demonized like Michael Jackson. He shouldn't even be mentioned in the same sentence as Michael Jackson. I mean, in terms, I'm just talking in terms of artistic ability.
No. Michael Jackson made Thriller.
Right.
Justin Bieber made Baby.
Right. This is not a debate that should even happen. And if there's anyone out there in our listening area that thinks that Justin Bieber albums are remotely close to the quality of Michael Jackson albums, don't bother arguing with me.
And if Justin Bieber thinks that his albums are even remotely close to a Michael Jackson album, then he's probably the kind of guy that uses the Sex with Glass app on the Google Glass.
Yes.
And has a monkey.
Has to
have a monkey.
Arguably Davy Jones.
Right. Right. Is Davy Jones still in Germany? Is that what you're saying?
Davy Jones is technically not still alive, but I suppose it could be a picture of Davy Jones.
But hold on. The question was the monkey Davy Jones? So, I mean, I don't know. You guys had mentioned that was the monkey Davy Jones, so is he still in Germany?
He is carrying yes, they kept the corpse because they said it was illegal to bring a corpse to Germany without the proper licensure.
Do you ever get confused when you're listening to the Monkees that it's Johnny Depp?
No. Tell us why you would even say that.
Davy Jones, the whole Pirates of the Caribbean thing.
But he was Captain Jack Sparrow. Davy Jones wasn't Johnny Depp.
I know, but I know. You know, honestly, I tried to make a Pirates of the Caribbean joke. I never watched them.
You succeeded.
I never
David Merle
watched
wins the award.
Now, we can sit around and make fun of Justin Bieber. I will not tolerate making fun of the Monkees, okay?
Right? That's right. Jason's a big Monkees fan.
People say they monkey around.
Right. Do you like the Monkees, Joe?
When I was a little boy, I used to like watching the TV show on Nickelodeon.
Okay, we watched it on MTV growing up.
No joke, I have their greatest hits on CD.
Do you really?
Yes.
How many greatest hits do the Monkees have?
3.
Can you For real?
It's actually like a whole CD worth of stuff, and a lot of it's stuff from after they broke up when they tried to have like individual careers and stuff like that.
I think you could actually compare Justin Bieber and the Monkees, maybe. You like that sentence?
And the reason you could compare them is because when the prostitute in Brazil was taking the selfie of herself, Justin Bieber woke up and realized she was taking pictures, and she said in Portuguese, "Cheer up, Sleepy Jean."
What's your favorite Justin Bieber song, Jason? I know you're a fan. Can you name a Justin Bieber song?
I can maybe name 2 that we've mentioned here.
We've tapped you out of your Justin Bieber knowledge.
That's pretty much where it ends.
What about you, Cho? Do you have a?
He called me Cho too.
Do you have a favorite Justin Bieber song?
Do I have a favorite? No, I don't.
All right. Should he sing "Hey Hey We're the Monkees"? I don't know. I just think
probably not. That would be disrespectful to the monkey.
For me, though, they're the equivalent of like, I don't know. Who's those guys on TV? Like, they're from Britain and they do a children's program. And
the Wiggles.
The Wiggles.
Yeah, I think they're from Australia or something.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
or New Zealand. I don't know.
Yeah, they're kind of the Wiggles. They kind of remind me of the Wiggles.
No, those guys are terrible. Those guys are terrible. My daughter Cammie liked that show for a little while when she was a bit younger, and it was a struggle to get through an episode.
A fair comparison to something current, I think it's more like Big Time Rush.
Oh wow,
Big Time Rush.
Yeah, because they kind of have a TV show that revolves around their band, but they're still music involved, and
Okay,
Have you ever seen Backyardigans?
Kid
Speaking
problems.
of the Wiggles, Backyardigans is the worst television program on television.
Yeah, you're probably right.
They
You're probably right.
Instead of waterboarding, they need to Backyardigan.
Although Teletubbies was really awful
that
in
was-
its day.
ooh,
Right.
man.
And my son now
And
has
thrust
discovered that.
into political conversation, the whole Teletubbies thing.
Why is that?
Oh, I'm going to be the guy to expose it. There was this whole Jerry Falwell and something in one of his articles thought one of the Teletubbies was gay or something. I don't know.
Oh, geez, I remember that.
I
That was
don't know
ridiculous.
exactly how you would know that, but
I think one of them, like one of the toys, they thought they used slur against homosexuals.
But I'm
the thing
confident
that
one-
nobody ever mentioned while this whole gay Teletubby debate was going on was the bigger problem, and that was the problem with infancy drug use, and because that show there would be what 4 Teletubbies throughout the whole show, and you'd see them walking around doing things, and it's all psychedelic, but then at some point in the show, this baby in the sun
Oh,
would
yeah.
jump out with this
That-
like laughter, like. Like he broke into Justin Bieber's drug supply.
right, that was frightening
And
stuff.
that was a problem
That
because
was
it came out of
frightening.
nowhere.
That was frightening stuff.
Ah.
If there was a secret menu item, sunny side up, that looked like the baby face on that thing, I'm running for my life.
Yeah, and
That-
the idea of eating babies alone is kind of...
Well, I don't know.
It's kind of
I
a
wasn't
bad
trying
deal.
to imply, but you're the one that said the babies was scary, and I'm with you there. That baby son was frightening.
it was frightening.
You
It
can
was-
turn
indeed.
baby faces into frightening things by putting them in things like suns.
yes. Yeah, or even in scary movies, they always use creepy babies or creepy kids.
Oh yeah, Yeah.
That's like a pastime for the horror film genre.
Have you
it
seen
works
the
every time?
Oh, have you seen the devil baby practical jokes that are going on?
Hilarious. Hilarious. Where do these guys come up with this stuff?
Oh, crazy.
Oh,
stuff.
man. But then, real quick, before we get out of Bieber, because we kind of veered off a little bit, hashtag Deport Bieber trended on Twitter last week, and that's when what Jason was talking about, the 100,000 signature petition that could soon be heard by the White House, came to fruition. So that's the end of the Justin Bieber timeline of douchiness. And,
Do you think that's what Joe Biden was pointing at when the guy ran in with the 100,000 signature?
Yeah,
big
you
old
can-
smile.
I'll
point.
sign that.
Give me that. That's what was in the envelopes. The president hands him envelopes.
Yeah.
It was this 100,000 petition.
And if Joe Biden is calling you a douchebag, you know it's bad.
You are. We should have the. They named the douchebag award after Joe Biden. It's like the Joe Biden douchebag award.
Yeah.
And so when you give
it's like
that
the
away,
Nobel Peace Prize of douchebaggery.
right? You actually say here is your Biden. So
Here's your
just
It's like the Lifetime Achievement Award.
yeah, exactly. It's actually named after Joe Biden.
Oh, man.
What's next,
So-
Cho?
Well, real quick, I think it would be bad if we didn't at least acknowledge the fact that tomorrow is Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, the big game.
Now, I'm not a sports fan, but you and Jason are going to be
How
watching,
do
I'm
you
sure.
live in society with testosterone in your body without being at least somewhat enamored by the big game, football, all that comes with it?
Now, all right, you're going to give me a hard time.
I
because I'm not
am
a
going to
sports
give you
fan.
a hard time. Football is great.
Okay.
And I know you have some testosterone because you watch Fast and Furious and all
Yep.
that stuff.
Yeah,
that
I like
happen.
seeing guys like The Rock destroy some machinery and
You're
shoot
right.
some people, and yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. But sports, all right. Here's the thing about sports: it's too time consuming. There are some people that not only pick a team, not only go hard for that team, but they have to spend money on that team's apparel.
Mm-hmm.
They have to spend money to go watch that team play live. They take chunks of time out of their day at specific times during the week to make sure that they're watching that team play so they can root
Definitely.
for them. They probably spend some time online reading about the players' backstories, learning what their stats are.
I'm not hearing a downside to what you're saying.
There's just so much to it, man. I mean, okay, I work, the 40 hours a week. I am a family guy. I am involved in some clubs and organizations outside of work that I devote my time to, and even that's only like 2 hours out of a month, But I still feel like I only get a couple hours a night to like sit with my wife and watch some TV. I can't imagine throwing an extra 6 hours in the shuffle to, root for a sports team.
Well, let me explain my sports universe. And here's the deal: the center of my sports universe is the Indianapolis Colts. And so I actually kind of back off demanding any other television programs in my home during the week, because when the Colts are on, I want to be able to, without veto, say, hey guys, get prepared. The Colts are coming on. I'm going to be busy for the next 3 hours. And so
3 hours.
And now, that being said, when it's football season, that's the 3 hours you give, and you move on. Now, I am totally with you. I don't hop from sport to sport to sport like some people do, because I've seen those. They go from football, pro football, college basketball, pro basketball, baseball, NBA.
Again,
WNBA.
I'm not seeing a downside here.
Right, and it's a little much. Now, I would watch a Pacer game if you could ever find them on TV. Jason, I know Jason's is a White Sox fan, but you can't, from baseball, you can't follow baseball. I totally agree. That's like 3 hours a day, every day, all summer.
But there's a guy that I work with. He's a diehard baseball fan.
And he watches it every day?
Every day. He watches every game.
I couldn't follow a baseball team like I follow the Colts. And apparently,
Jason, what do you
present
follow?
company probably could.
If there's a sport on my TV, I watch it.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
How do you have time for, like, real TV shows?
Yeah.
Well, because, I used to work for ESPN Radio here in town. So, I mean, sports has just always been what I'm into. It actually, one of my biggest complaints about when I was working at the radio station, it's like, man, I'm here, I got to put this Notre Dame basketball game, but there's a World Series game on I could be watching at home.
Right.
So it's like
right.
I'm focusing on a game that I'm not wanting to watch.
Yeah.
Be careful here in South Bend acting like you weren't going to watch a Notre Dame sporting event.
Right.
Because our media around here, and I'm a Notre Dame football fan, so I'm all about it, but they literally will mention, Notre Dame tied their shoes today, to be the front headline.
Oh, yeah,
and then right under that will be.
In fact, saying that you disliked reporting on those games means Regis Philbin's going to show up at your house and egg it.
Right.
Not the first time I've said that.
So Justin Bieber and Regis Philbin and Vanity Smurf are going to egg your house.
I've said nothing
David
negative
is creating
about
his
Vanity
own dream team.
Jason is making it clear he has said nothing negative about Vanity Smurf.
Well,
Vanity was annoying, though. He was the one with the mirror and the flowers hair. He wasn't my favorite Smurf.
You guys and your Smurfs.
Is there a Justin Bieber Smurf? Now that he should be in Smurfs 3.
Douchebag Smurf.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to tip the cap.
Right.
But Jason, why don't you start us out since we're running out of time here? Tell us who you're going to choose to tip the cap to this week.
Well, speaking of people that are into sports, I want to tip my cap to a kid, Nathaniel Wentz. He's a 17-year-old in Tacoma, Washington. Showed up to work a couple weeks ago wearing a Denver Broncos jersey. His boss said you need to go home and change into the regular uniform, or you can wear a Seahawks jersey because that's a local team. He went home, didn't go back. He was that dedicated to supporting the Broncos.
I love it.
And his response was, well, I don't have to worry about working on the Super Bowl now.
Wow.
Wow.
You got to do that stuff when you're a kid because as an adult, you need the
You
job.
can't do it. Yeah.
Right.
David, who are you tipping the cap to this week?
Hey, no jokes aside, I'm tipping the cap to Peyton Manning. He's playing tomorrow in the big game. Took the day off work. I think he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and I'm really and there's been a lot of articles recently coming out that talks about how he's a man of faith, and he wants his actions to speak louder than words. That really kind of resonates with me. So I'm hoping he can get another ring to kind of solidify his great legacy. So I tip the cap to Peyton Manning.
And maybe one day we can share the story about how it's partially my fault that he is with the Broncos.
You guys aren't going to tip the cap to Sherman?
I think you should tip the cap to Sherman.
No.
I actually hear that dude's a pretty good dude, but he made one huge mistake. That's screaming on television.
Both of you have you've tipped your cap to a sports. You to a sports star, you to a sports fan.
Right.
And I'm not going to go there, especially since I'm not really that big of a sports fan. And I'm going to go ahead and tip the cap to, because she's relevant to this conversation, Selena Gomez.
There you go. Good choice.
11 years ago, Kelly Clarkson asked, what happened to Miss Independence? And with the dumping of Justin Bieber and the refusal of getting back with him, Selena Gomez is waving her hand and saying, here I am.
Right. All right, that's it. Miss Independent.
That's great. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode of the Culture and Arts Podcast, The Cap. Jason has to get to work, and David has to get about his day, and I'm going to try and catch like another 20 minutes of sleep before the kids are running around acting like crazy people. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week.